Okay. So we'll still have a chance to continue to greet each other and wish each other Shabbat Shalom when the service is over. But we'll begin now with our visual tefillah, with our liturgy, our song, our rituals. And I want to thank you all for the incredible support that you gave me and my family while we were away for the month of July. We missed you. We're happy to be back. But we loved that you loved following along with our experience in Colorado with the pictures that I was able to post on Facebook. And for those of you who didn't see, you were asking for them. So throughout the service tonight, you will see some snapshots from the beautiful scenes that we were able to partake in Colorado. Every time I travel and spend time out in nature, I always find like the words of the liturgy just sort of pop off the page, or they start running in my head as a phrase, an expression, an image will suddenly pop out in front of me, just like the authors tried to capture it on the page. So I've tried to sync up the photos that you'll see with the liturgy. If you make the connection, great. If they don't connect for you, hopefully you'll just enjoy the picture as well. And then I'll have a special drash to share from the mountains as well when we get to that part of the service. But for now, oh, it's not advancing. There we go. We will start in song as Robin leads us in Shir Ladonai.
Please join me. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Now, if you'd like, you can join us. It's the Cantor Merrill family over here. We're going to lead the candle lighting. If you've got candles of your own, feel free to light them now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. And now I'd like to invite Steve and Elise Pernick to lead us in Kiddush. And if you've got a Kiddush cup, lift your Kiddush cup now. Steve and Elise?
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Shabbat Shalom.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you.
This can go to another script. Lena, pick up that camera. We froze. I don't know if you can see us, but we're frozen.
We can hear you, Rabbi. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Well, I still have the Kiddush reading on my screen. Do you have the next reading?
No, Rabbi Alexander is sharing her screen. I think she left and is going to come back.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Stay around, everybody. We're just waiting to be rejoined. Okay. Are we still waiting for Rabbi Alexander? Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay, now you're officially a co-host.
Everyone can see again?
Yes.
Oh, so where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat abide.
Now we invite back Robin to lead us in Baruch Hu.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Continue with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Join with me as we continue with Ve'ahavta. The words are on the screen. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ahani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Continue with Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha Bailim Adonai Micha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh Nora Tahilot Osei Bele Mocha Nedar Bakodesh.
Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, L'Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinabash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam brit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We continue with the opening prayers of the Tefillah, which Eli will lead us in.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'akol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imaho, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Akol atah Rab Lahoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'chesed, Mechaye Hakol B'rachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim V'rofeh Cholim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem Emunato L'shenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'mido Melach, Melech Memit U'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, Yahalelucha Salah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. Yasher Koach.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. 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 Ki ata hu Melech Adom Lecho HaShalom. Ki ata hu Melech Adom Lecho HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We continue with Misha Berach, a prayer for healing. Our members and friends have asked us to include these people in our healing prayers. So for healing of the body and healing of the spirit, we think of especially Toby Arias, Stuart Blum, Irma Delcourt, Craig Eisendrath, Stephanie Finder, Barbara Feinerman, Christian Foster, Kathy Glick, Cheryl Goldberg, Marion Goodman, Janet Gorski, Jill, Lila, and Zippy Gutman, Ava Hautala, Deborah Humanitsky, Sarah Starkey, Jan Hirsch, Dana Wine Johnson, Jennifer Kleiman, Carolyn Kurgan, Stu Leibovitz, Gussie Levy, Debbie Levison, Rose Lipoff, Shirley Lidowitz, Jane Meyerson, Conrad Nelson, Jane Norris, Dan Pilder, Duke Prince, Marion Prince, S. David Richmond, Mark Rivkin, J. A. Ransom, Carrie Rosen, Jeff Rosen, Neil Shadoff, Michaela Spitzer, Margot Stankus, Ida Swindell, Mark Tetley, Susan Wallen, Oscar Wasserman, Betty Weinman, Marlene Williman, Chaim Aryeh ben Naomi Malka, David Ephraim ben Yenta Liba. For all of them, we join together in this healing prayer.
Mi sheberach avotenu makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu makor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. So typically we offer a drash from Torah. This Shabbat I'd like to offer a drash from the mountains, but very much inspired by a text from our larger biblical tradition. While we were in the mountains, these lines from Psalm 121 kept going through my head. Esa einai el hecharim, me'ayin yavo Ezri me'im Adonai, osei shamayim va'aretz. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help will come from the eternal, maker of heaven and earth. Why the mountains? I wondered. They're awesome and majestic to be sure, but why exactly have they been such a source of inspiration, of comfort and strength and help throughout the generations? Is it just because they're tall? I mean, that could be it. For a faith that traditionally had a physically hierarchical understanding of our relationship to God, with God up in the heavens and us down here below, lifting one's eyes to the mountains would mean you were gazing up toward God, or at least God's abode. And maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe. Is it because of our biblical history? Think of the events that happened on mountaintops. The binding of Isaac, the receiving of Torah, the building of the ancient temple, and all of the worship that took place on the Temple Mount. There's certainly a possible reason there. Maybe. Maybe it's because of the sheer beauty and diversity of life in the mountains. This was certainly my most frequent answer to the question. Here's a sampling of what we saw during our month in the Rockies. I love the marmot. Love the marmot. The flowers, the elk. Some things we saw right from our house. That moose just wandered up the second day that we were there onto our property. All the different kinds of colors and flowers and animals that were around. And this, I think, is got to be an album cover somewhere. To behold all of this beauty, all of this diversity, all of this life virtually everywhere you go, well, it does point to the Creator, to a maker of heaven and earth. And it just goes on and on and on, with seemingly every color of the rainbow sometimes up in the sky. But then in the course of my reading while I was away, I came across a passage about Thich Nhat Hanh, the renowned Vietnamese meditation teacher. It was said that he would often have his students visualize they were like a tree bending in the winds of a gale on the top of a mountain. Now let me tell you a bit about those gales on the top of a mountain. They're serious. Each mountain in the range really controls its own weather. And during the summer, the heat that a mountain gives off can cause sudden clouding, abrupt rain, though usually only a few drops. But the wind, it's wind like I've only experienced in tropical storms and hurricanes here in South Carolina, wind that doesn't let up, wind that keeps coming and coming and coming. And as I was reading this passage, while in our house, up on the mountain, just that kind of wind kicked up outside. So I picked up my phone, and filmed it. Now those trees are aspens, cousins, I like to think, of the birch trees we have in the mountains on our side of the country. Their circular or heart-shaped leaves make a musical rustling sound when the breeze blows, or a louder rustling when the wind picks up. Native Americans identified the trees by their sound before they could see them. And Thich Nhat Hanh would tell his students, if we look up, we shall see our branches bending as if they're about to break and be carried away by the storm. How many of us have felt this way this year? I mean, it's one thing after another. Yeah, there's a hand. It's one thing after another, after another, after another. This past week, there was a derecho, essentially a landlocked hurricane that tore through much of the American Midwest. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where Aaron, Eli, and I used to live, sustained damage to virtually every house on every street in the city. Buildings totally flattened or listing at a 45-degree angle, just like the most extreme hurricane damage we've seen here in Charleston. That is 2020. One major unpredictable thing after another. We're bending and shaking and being whipped around such that it feels like we will surely break, like we'll be carried away by the storm, as he put it. But if we look down, Thich Nhat Hanh would continue, we shall know that the roots of the tree are firmly in the earth, and we shall feel more stable and at rest. Did you see that in the video? Let me play it again. That even as the branches were bending and shaking, the trunks stayed absolutely still. Each tree rooted, firmly planted, steady and secure and able to withstand the storm no matter how long it lasted. That is the part of the tree we should visualize ourselves as, he would say. Maybe this is what the ancients saw when they looked up to the mountains, that the mighty force that made those majestic peaks is the same source of strength that enables us to withstand any storm. And maybe the ancient psalmist speaks for us too. Esa einai el heharim, me'ayin yavo ezri. Where will my help come from as I lift my eyes to the mountains? I know my help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Amen.
Esa einai el heharim, Esa einai el heharim, me'ayin yavo ezri, me'ayin yavo ezri, me'ayin yavo ezri, me'ayin yavo ezri. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Esa einai el heharim, Esa einai el heharim, me'ayin yavo ezri, me'ayin yavo ezri, me'ayin yavo ezri, me'ayin yavo ezri.
From Esa Einai, we continue with words of praise as we join together for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leyotzer breshit, shehu noteh shamayim veyoser aretz, umoshav yikaraho bashamayim mima'al. Ushchinatu zo b'gavhei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod. Va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Imagine a beautiful mountain spring, pure and clear, full of freshness and power. It descends from the highest peaks, flowing down to water the floor of the valley. So it is with the souls of those who came before us. The beauty of their lives still flows down to their descendants, renewing our will, restoring our faith, giving us the power to act as they did, inspiring us to reach higher, to grow in strength, in courage, in generosity. And so we are taught. Each of us is obligated to say, when will my deeds reach the level of my ancestors? Let us cherish what we've learned from beloved family, friends, and teachers. Their memory comes to us as an inheritance, an ever-flowing stream of goodness and blessing. Let us drink deep and remember. This Shabbat, we recall those who have passed away in recent days, as well as those for whom we observe Yahrzeit this week. We recall the recent passing of Daniel Lipson, Sarah Levy, Margaret Archer, Bess Cotton, Ruth Eastwood, Lydia Julia, and we're saddened to share that Jeanette Katz has passed away as well. We observe Yahrzeits this Shabbat for Honey Apsison, Rose Barsman, Bella Bensur, Fred Bernstein, Basia Betsis, Joseph Bolleton, Leslie Chavin, Joseph Dora, Bella Friedman, Saul Friedman, Keith Golden, Irving Green, Eric Jacoby, Carol Kalitsky, Harry Kramer, Avram Kronzberg Jr., Minerva Leichtman, Izzy Passot, Hilda Radloff, Robert Reidman, Marcia Russell, Samuel Saltzman, Herman Schindler, William Steinberg, Deborah Tuttle, Ruth Whitman, Cecil Wolfson, George Zurich. For all of these individuals and for any others we individually hold in our hearts this Shabbat, we join together in the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalama divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'alamei alamaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata ta'amiran ba'alama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. It's now my honor and pleasure to invite the president of our congregation, Jeff Weinman, to share a few words with us this Shabbat.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so wonderful to see all of you. I wish I could reach out and hug everybody, but virtual seeing and a virtual hug will do. I want to first thank everyone who participated in tonight's service. Rabbi Alexander, Rabbi Cantor, and Robin Schuler, always for just a great, meaningful service. Rabbi Alexander and maybe Rabbi Sherman and maybe Eli for the beautiful photography. I didn't see any credits on the photos, but beautiful photography, whoever took them, you should be proud of that. Rabbi Cantor, Merrill family for the candle lighting, thank you. Stephen Elise Pernick for the Kiddush, and we haven't gotten to Motzi yet, but I'll thank Nicole and Jonathan Solomon for the Motzi. And the person who you don't see, who's behind all the scenes doing a lot of work, Joelle Newlander. Thank you for all you do. That goes totally unseen, but is so appreciated. Just a few announcements. Next Friday night, please join us at All Saints Lutheran Church in Mount Pleasant for the Drive-In Shabbat. That is next Friday at 7 p.m. And then two program announcements. On Sunday, August 23rd, we will be featuring a program featuring Chris Singleton entitled Love is Stronger Than Hate. For those who don't know the name Chris, Chris is a former professional baseball player whose mom was murdered at Mother Emanuel AME Church. And Chris will talk about racism, adversity, and forgiveness. I think it will be a fantastic program. That's Sunday, August 23rd at 11:30. And then Wednesday, the Wednesday after that, August 26th, we continue our virtual Brown Bag Lunch series with a program by Bill Farley entitled My Life in Media. And Bill has a very broad set of media experiences, and we'll hear what life in the media is really like. It should be a fascinating program. So those are the three I want to highlight. And once again, Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Thank you, Jeff, and Shabbat Shalom to you as well. I guess I do get to take credit for most of the photos. That last shot, though, before Kaddish was Eli's, and that was something else. But here's one more, and it's really not the camera, it's really the landscape. You couldn't take a bad picture of something like that. But we joined together in singing Adon Olam.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chevtzo Kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Roveh, Ve'hu Yeh, B'tifara. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa V'chevtzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yeh, B'tifara. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa V'chevtzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, B'tifara, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, B'tifara, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, B'tifara.
We now invite Nicole and Jonathan, as promised, to lead us in Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, and boy, does that look delicious. Shabbat shalom, everyone, and we'll ask Joelle to go ahead and unmute, and you can talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, you want to say
each other. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
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 Shabbat shalom. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Mark.
Shalom.
Hi, Mark. Shabbat shalom.
No,